Welcome, everybody, to Future of Beauty Unfiltered. I am your host, Hannah Cook, Head of Growth and Innovation at the Pull Agency. And today we have a lovely, healthy skin looking face with us, Manuel Guerra. Welcome.
Thank you, Hannah.
How are you?
I'm very well. I just came back from a lovely break I went back to Spain for a week.
Was it nice?
And it was needed before
Right.
coming back to chaos London.
Chaos London in reality. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. So, I'm going to do a little bit of an intro to our listeners, and then I have a ton of questions. But today we are talking actually about the power of human touch within kind of skincare and therapy, which when I first met you, for me was a really interesting angle and view that you had on the category, and you are a no-nonsense talker. So I'm really looking forward to hearing about it today. So, Manuel, you are also a creator of MG Skincare, which is a groundbreaking line of botanical and effective skincare products. Created by Manuel, a former Dermalogica therapist and leading skin expert for over 20 years in the industry, this skincare line is aimed to deliver professional level results for a diverse range of skin concerns. Now, your journey actually into the world of skincare began with a personal struggle with severe acne, and I definitely want to talk about that later. And this experience obviously led to you becoming a certified skincare therapist, completing your education at Brighton College back in 2003. Between 2006 and 2012, Manuel was an integral part of the renowned skincare company Dermalogica, and this period also marked the beginning of your skincare classes, where you shared your knowledge and expertise with Dermalogica. In 2013, leveraging that experience that you gained and obviously prior training at Brighton, you then founded MG Skincare Clinic, and this clinic quickly gained high praise from clients and established itself as a leading skincare destination, particularly around your very much sought after massage techniques, which I've experienced personally and can absolutely vouch are wonderful. So thank you so much for your time today. I know how busy you are, and I've been really looking forward to talking about this. So let's talk a little about your journey of how you got here. So this all started for you due to your own skincare challenges. Can you talk to me a little bit more about that?
Yes, of course. So it was back in 1998, 1997, and I would never forget that summer because it was the release of Ray of Light of Madonna. So we were all crazy dancing around, but I did dance with a lot of acne. I did suffer from a very, very severe acne. So, and I was a teenager back then. So I was going through Roaccutane and antibiotics, and then dermatologist, prescription drugs, creams, lotions, and pharmacists, stuff that will irritate your skin even more. It might take away a bit of infected acne, but it will irritate you. So I was going for facials through my neighbor. She opened up a treatment room at her house. And it's funny because I actually went back last week, I just said, to Spain, and I bumped into her to a clinic that I was invited to. And when I saw her, I was like, I'm here because of you. And so we stand up on shoulders of other people. So I thank her very much. She fixed my acne. She got rid of my infected acne and pigmentation. But what I was very concerned is that the products that she was able or not able to sell me afterwards, and that really resonates. I mean, treatments are great. So I did purchase stuff from her back then, and it was clays, mud, but it wasn't anything sophisticated, and it was not affordable back then. And still, most of the products in clinics are very, very expensive. So I did suffer from that acne. I got cured for a time. And then I emigrated to the UK to learn English in 1999. And then about 2003, I said to myself, I want to learn about skin. Why is it that I'm still getting acne? So I was living in Brighton. I went straight into college, and they already started the training, but they taught me in. So they got me in, paid towards the training. It was very affordable back then, only £500 full time for a year.
Wowzers.
Yeah, very. And it was level 2, MVQ2. So back then we would do everything from pedicures, manicures, and facials and electricals. And I fell in love with the industry. I loved the whole of the treatments that we were providing, especially face treatment. So that was it, that I knew I wanted to do this for the rest of my life.
And when I first met you, you very quickly said, don't believe I'm not a beauty therapist, I'm a skin therapist.
Right.
Tell me a little bit more about that thinking.
Well, yes, I mean, I'm a guy as well. So it comes to beauty, it's very pinkish, it has to be unisex. We have guys coming in for treatments as well. It has to be comfortable for the boys. So that word of beauty also resonates through Dermalogica. So Jane, the founder, doesn't believe on that word. And it is true. It's about skin health. It's about human touch, results driven, and yet incredible touch, incredible smells. It doesn't need to be beauty. It doesn't have to be flowers and pinkish stuff.
It can be functional as well. And when you kind of went through this journey of actually understanding just yourself, why, you mentioned she cured you, but then it came back and you wanted to kind of understand actually how that evolved. Did you ever get to the bottom of what was kind of causing it? Or is that an ongoing journey?
It was ongoing because of the food that I was eating. And I always eaten very well, but I love my sugars. So it was very acidic. And so I will break down on acne, especially right through here, my jawline. Never, funny enough, on my forehead, but just right through here. And when I came to London, it even got worse on the cheeks, because the cheeks are related to the lungs. So it's very polluted. It's lung related as well. So funny enough, during COVID time, people were suffering from, a lot of acne, inflammation
around their jaw
and around the lungs area, which is your cheek. So it was an ongoing. I found out I was on Chinese herbs as well. So I was taking herbs, teas, and pills. And that really, really did take away, a lot of inflammation through my body. And I obviously cut off sugars. No other way.
So it's definitely, I think there's always this ongoing conversation in the beauty category and the wellness category. As we know, and we were talking about this, beauty has shifted in the last kind of 5 years, and very much it was sped up massively in COVID times around that it's about wellness, and that beauty is skin deep. And actually what we mean by that is you've got to start with the inside. As we know on this podcast, we spoke to doctors, nutritionists, dermatologists, all different kinds of medical practitioners. And it's very much start from the inside, because your skin is one of the biggest filtration systems you have. Talk to me about skin mapping a little bit. So actually, based on kind of acne and problematic skin, because it's not just, acne isn't the only problem. It could be rosacea, it could be eczema, it could be lots of different things, even congestion. What are the areas? How does your face tell you what's going on with your body?
So, for example, back then, in my case, I did suffer from that inflammation, acne, infected right through my cheeks, coming down over
into the jaw and neck.
And did told you about the food-related inflammation through the gut. So the stomach area right here. Some people do suffer from here on the forehead. I never did, but I don't know why, but never did right through here. I don't drink alcohol either. This is apparently your liver area between your eyebrows. So that was all fine. Very congested, very acne prone right through here. And that would tell you, basically stress-related hormones, very much a really, I would say, ongoing person, stressful person, inflamed, irritation. right through here.
Mm.
And I do believe, I mean, I'm based in Southeast, and we still have a lot of dark African customers coming in, and the food that they eat sometimes is too much of fried food. They love the heaviness, and they do have a lot of that underlying congestion that when you squeeze those beautiful blackheads, they smell like almost food. So
Really? Oh.
it is related to good time that they're coming for lunchtime. So I'm ready for lunch.
Oh no.
So it basically it's up your food. It basically shows up. Smokers, I can tell, and I don't smoke, I can tell who smokes because of the smell around the nose right here. It's got a particular smell to it. And you realize only when you've been in the industry for quite some time. And again, that broken capillaries you show up in here.
Yeah.
Broken capillaries from those cigarettes right
The
here.
toxins.
And they have a particular smell. Again, when you squeeze and you do double cleanse, you really notice, why is it there that it is so much congestion? Do you smoke? Sometimes you can't really tell because of the breath. Sometimes people are very clean on the breath, but you can really feel. Also, when you massage, we were talking about a lot of draining. So I do work on that. It is quite inflamed.
Yeah. It's amazing. I'm kind of watching you while you're talking, and you're so tactile with your face and how you explain it. And
correct.
That was, yeah, go on.
When we get phone calls, what is it the facial entails? What is it that you're going to be? What do you? We sell treatments as bespoke. We sell times. We sell solutions, obviously. But when customers ask me, what do you do in the treatment? I say, what do you want me to do? And I need to see you. I have no idea. Obviously, you have a procedure like double cleanse, and you're going to be using this and that. I said, but I don't know what I'm going to be doing. That's the honest answer. And I believe some clients love that. Some other people will feel like, I don't feel that is the right place for me. But as a therapist, you never know what you're going to be doing until you feel the skin, and you have to really get yourself into that cleansing mode as well. I truly believe cleansing, double cleansing, important. Forget about sacking machineries. Get them out of the way. You still have to know what's underneath of your skin when you cleanse.
When you say what's underneath, what do you mean by that?
So you probably could see, you look at somebody's skin and you might see pigmentation.
Yep.
But you might not see or feel congestion. So again, it is another way of doing face mapping.
Yeah.
You do face mapping with your eyes closed. You feel congestion, acne.
Yeah.
I can feel that area. And I say that in my training on my therapist. I say you need to close your eyes to start with, and then open your eyes so you will see maybe the pigmentation, the leftovers from the acne, the hyperpigmentation, but you not necessarily see the acne. You need to feel the skin. And that's again, skin analysis. That's the reason why you need to book clients in and tell them, well, we'll take it from there. Once I start doing my first cleanse, I have an idea what I need to do and what I need you to do.
Do you think that a lot of consumers already know what their problems are when they come to see you, and are they right a lot of the time?
I think so. I mean, I don't know about, I know for a fact that they have an idea. Everybody has got an idea. When you look at yourself, maybe you need to go for, I need to go for my, what do you call it? Threading. So you have an idea of what your need, but they may not know certain ingredients or the mix-up of products to target that skin concern or that. Because sometimes it's funny enough that we sell assets here, and I've made a blend for you.
I know.
So we obviously sell products that are, not basics, but they can't have so much active ingredients. You may have a hyaluronic acid product, and then you might have a salicylic acid product, and you do have a vitamin C. So sometimes you have those products seated on the shelf, but you're over-drying your skin because you suffer from acne. So you're making the skin worse. Why don't you mix your acids maybe with a rose hip oil or a vitamin C serum that is nourishing with your acids? So it's that part of communication that therapists should be giving to the clients, regardless the products that I'm going to be using in my treatments. What is it that you got in your hand?
Yeah. But I think that's part of the challenge for consumers is you don't want to have kind of 11-step. I mean, some people I actually quite like a heavy stepped routine because that's my downtime. I sent someone a video last night of showing them how they should be using a product to cleanse their face, because it was a guy and he's like, I'm not using it right. I said, let me send you a video and show you. But I think with consumers, a lot of the time you don't know. So one of the things I loved when I came to see you in the salon, so I'm really into my skincare. I'm quite lucky that I don't typically get many breakouts. If I do, there's normally a reason for it. I've either tried a new product and I'm having a purge, or I've been wearing a hat at the gym and it's trapped that bacteria. You can work out really quickly where it's come from.
Yeah.
But as soon as I walked in to see you, you went, okay, and I watched it, you closed your eyes, you didn't say anything, and then you just put your hands and you went, okay, so we got congestion. And I was like, yeah, I'd agree with that. It's kind of years of on the phone, mobile phones are terrible as well for kind of creating congestion and transference of bacteria. We all know that a mobile phone is dirtier than a toilet seat. So it's all those different things. But one of the things that I think I found really inspiring and different in the experience was you weren't shy of talking about, when I was going through that, and obviously my CEO came in as well, who was absolutely terrified, first ever facial he'd had in his life, of talking about what the problems are and why and where you can feel it. And so again, it's that face mapping. But what I found amazing was obviously your views on then that power of human touch.
Yeah.
And that this is something that I would say feel quite strongly about is lacking in the industry at times.
At times, correct.
Why?
Laziness.
Okay.
I think sometimes laziness, therapists, we will get tired sometimes. And it doesn't need to take an extra 10 minutes. You double cleanse and you're doing already face mapping. You're ready. If you're a brand new customer to me, I'm going to be talking to you while you're in the bed. I need to feel and talk. It doesn't make any sense by looking at your skin and not touching your face. I need to look through it. I need to stretch it. I need to find out what is it that you're doing at home and what you might need or might not need. So that time is crucial. And then I got quiet. So you don't need to be talking through the whole of the treatments. I believe that sometimes we get tired and lazy. Other things are some therapists or salons owners, not especially therapists, they follow trends. Trends right now is a lot of machineries.
Needles, lots of kind of microneedling, dermabrasion. Yep.
Not especially that, but again, it's a particular machine that sometimes therapists use with wipes. They wipe you up first, and then the machine will clean you up. I don't want to say a name, but it is wrong. You need to clean with a product that is cleansing properly, and you need to feel the skin. And I had a conversation with a friend of mine I trained a while ago, and she's looking for another job. And she is in a beautiful salon where they use a machine and they just use wipes to cleanse you first. And she's like
wet wipes. Oh my goodness. Okay.
and she's like, this is not therapy. This is not skin therapists. This is just somebody using a machine because it's fashionable, or because it's just been there and it's just very heavily marketed. So there is very gorgeous, juicy therapists out there that they might do use a machine, but they will still cleanse you, give you that experience, and they will charge you 100 plus. And that's yeah.
So
that's the reason why we work really hard.
So based on that then, what is it that makes a skin therapist? Like, let's talk about actually the benefits of massaging.
Yeah, definitely. Hannah, you said that very early on. It's the human connection, it's the human touch, and we want to feel that somebody's there with us for the rest of the 1 hour. Sometimes some people do not live with anyone and they need that human connection. We are dying for that to happen. So it is very important that we connect with our other person by human connection. And so treatment has become really, really popular because of that, because we miss that human connection, that activity. And I really believe that if you reach a certain age as well, when you're a teenager, you out and about and you meet a lot of guys and you having sex, you're getting really good sex. You at some point in your life you stop. And so treatment, therapy, it's a
different type of connection, but still a connection.
And people do not want to say that, but it's the truth. It happens to me. And it happens to all of us, I think. At some point in your life, you have to change. So therapy, it is an add-on to that.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that is really apparent, I mean, let's look at hairdressing as an example. Actually, one of my closest friends is a skin therapist. She's very well qualified. She totally lives and breathes it. And she says there are things that I am told before anyone in any life, and there's this kind of code of silence that's what's said in the kind of treatment room stays in the treatment room. And it is that connection, that moment where you are connecting with an individual on a different kind of intimate level. There is still that element, but the health benefits of that are obviously there's additional kind of
happiness.
Exactly. There's lots of the happy hormone. There's lots of kind of serotonin that's produced, and that's good for everybody, right? So let's talk a little bit about the ingredients then. So you also have a background in ingredient composition, and this for me was something that was really awesome when I was talking to you about my son who gets patches of eczema and it just flares up in the weirdest of places, and you went, I'll be right back, and there was a lot of like squirting and shaking and jiggling. Right, give him this couple of pumps. And actually I then, in times when I would have a dry skin breakout, used it on my face, and it really made the most amazing difference. So you've got obviously a view when it comes to your formulation to address specific skincare concerns. And this obviously led to developing MG Skincare.
Correct.
Why?
Because, I mean, obviously over the years working for other brands and working freelance, I needed to buy products, ingredients to take with me to the treatment. So I started making oils, wash, clays. And so I would look through online, obviously. But I wanted to develop a product line that had a nice, gorgeous texture to it, beautiful smells, but it gives that results as well. So for example, we use a lot of oats, and oats formulations have become really popular nowadays.
Uh-huh.
So we do have milky cleansers with oats. We have a moisturizers with oats, and we have the powder exfoliant with oats.
Which I love. Which I love.
Yeah, and when you add water to it, it becomes very milky, really. And because I use those type of ingredients at college and through the other brands, when you use oats, you see beautifully underneath. You really do help. So I wanted to develop a product line that it had a lot of plants, botanicals, but then active ingredients with it as well. So, for example, I'm very excited. I'm very happy with this new formula that we developed. Is the recovering serum oil that has got 3 types of seaweed. I didn't know that there were so many seaweeds out there, or like there's so much. And every seaweed will treat different concerns: pigmentation, anti-inflammatory, and
antioxidant. Yeah.
And it's great for sun. So you can use that oil even if you're exposed to the sun to treat pigmentation. So there is things that I don't know, obviously, but the manufacturer will give you those ingredients listed and said, listen, I think you could work with those ingredients. So I'm very happy I received my peels.
Oh,
as well.
Can't wait to see those.
And these are, we started developing the products in summer. It's irritating as well. Don't get me. It's fun, but it's very, very painful sometimes. So
tell me why? Why is it painful?
Because
you're not the only one.
Sometimes they don't see what I want them to see. So I don't know if you can tell, but
it's quite thick. It's very castor oil-like in its consistency, isn't it?
Yeah. So I want it to be safe and not super, super dry. So it is very much so we were talking with the manufacturers and they came with the samples and they were really runny.
Yeah.
And the smells were quite essential oils as well. So when you come to appeals, anyway, it didn't resonate in my brain. So they just came up with these lotions and I said, I need a product that is not going to only exfoliate, but is also available for the therapist to massage with and do micro needling. And it doesn't run or go into the eyes. You can go close to the eyelids to exfoliate and really close. We get really dark patches here. So you can very close massage the acids here and micro needling on top. So,
for anyone on the podcast, he's currently touching his eye area because that's the thing. It'll be on YouTube as well. But I tell you what, this is going to be so much fun. I feel like I'm the audio descriptor for you today.
Yes. So again, when you feel the product, it is very soothing. But when you taste, it's an acid.
Yeah.
It is like lemon. It's like
citrusy. Well, when we paused a second ago, the first thing I said when you poured it was, it looks like castor oil consistency, which for an acid, for me, doesn't align with what I'm used to seeing. So one of the formulas that you used, I remember when I first came in, your cleanser is sunflower oil based, and I winced, didn't I? And I went, sunflower oil? Huh. Yeah. Where's that come from? Like, why? Particularly, I think when obviously you don't just treat acne, okay? But for you personally, acne is a big talking point, and that's where you have a lot of experience because it's a big journey that you went on. And so the perception, rightly or wrongly, is particularly with consumers, is that the heavier it is, the worse it's going to be for acne-based skin. Again, with aging skin, so a lot of kind of people that are actually perimenopausal or even have gone through the menopause, this assumption, we're doing some research at the moment on Gen X actually, and one of the biggest things that everyone's saying is, why do you assume that because I'm older, my skin is dry? And therefore every product I need has to be thick and clunky and that's just not the case, is it, when it comes to acne prone skin and formulations?
And preferences as well. Not
Right.
everybody prefers a product that is rich and thick. So yeah, you're right, Hannah. With like sunflower oil, for example, has got a lot of vitamin E, which is brightening, healing, and repairing. And obviously the formula has got some other ingredients to clean: deep menthol, licorice, fruit acids, lemongrass. And that blend with the sunflower oils is nourishing as well. We obviously use a synthetic ingredient, a chemical, polysorbate 20, and that it's an ingredient that allows the water to break down the oil. So if you get a glass and you pour some water and then you got some oil, the oil sits on top.
Yes.
When the formula has got that polysorbate 20 or 80, it blends. So the bubbles, the oil, it blends with the water. And that is an ingredient that not every formula or not many brands, not all the brands would use, because it's not as green or clean, but you have to have it when you talk about adding waters to a product, or when you're using an oil emulsifying cleansing product, or when you use, what else do you use for a toner, for example, that has got hyaluronic acid or oil with water? How do you blend that in so that when you use it, the water and the oils, it stays on your skin? So it is, again, a very controversial ingredient, but they've been around for years and still safe.
Yeah. So your clinic and the team, they very much focus on the skin technician element. And because of that, as you said earlier, you don't know what you're going to do to someone until they come in. So they might say, I want a facial, this is my price range, this is my concern. But until you've done the skin mapping and everything else and spoke about their lifestyle, you don't really know. And for that reason, you focus on a combination of bespoke facial treatments, but you combine that with kind of non-invasive technologies like radio frequency, LED therapy, microneedling, all those kind of things. Why do you bring those two elements together?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it has become popular as well. So it's that we all need something extra. Yeah.
Everyone's a little bit extra.
Absolutely. For example, a steamer, the steam, so many therapists don't use steam. I mean, back in Spain as well. And then they're like, oh, it breaks, so we can't bother. We don't bother with the steamer. And I said, the steamer has been around for years. And it really does bring that extra to the treatment. So I believe on steam from the beginning.
Why? What does steam do? What are the benefits? Because it doesn't really open your pores.
It relaxes the skin. Like when you go into the steam and the sauna, you feel that you're sweating and you said that after the summer.
A purge.
Basically, you want to get rid of that. And that sometimes, it helps for us to manipulate some products even better as well. Your skin doesn't get cold. It's just it's somebody cleansing your face, and you might feel cold through the treatment. So the steamer keeps the product and your skin warm as well.
Okay. So what else?
What else? It helps the extractions to be better as well. So it relaxes the skin. So when you come with extraction, you start doing extractions, the blackheads, hopefully, it will come up a lot easier as well.
So you're doing less damage.
Correct.
And what about everything else? So obviously LEDs.
So LED, we add it at the end through the mask. You have, we use a beautiful oatmeal mask with shea butter and coconut oil. You don't have to. You can just put a nice serum, B3 serum, vitamin serum, and then put the lamp. Very popular. Has become microneedling. We see results even on acne that is infected as well. So even if it's an acne skin, make sure as a therapist, double cleanse, do a little extractions, apply good acids, and then roll. That works really well. And after the treatment, your skin should become a lot less bumpy as well from the needle as well. Has become very popular. It's almost like surgery, to be honest.
Yeah. And why bring those two together when you're so passionate about the human touch?
Yeah.
Why then bring machines in? Is there something they can do that human hands can't?
Correct. Absolutely. We do double cleanse, exfoliate. So we do give you that beautiful human touch, human connection treatment. And then we bring machineries through it. And then still we contact, we stretch the skin and we're rolling, or we use a pen as well. So it's a beautiful combination of both worlds.
And that tends to see the best results.
And the good or the bad things, I'm Spanish. Only the UK, it's allowed therapists to do microneedling and injectable, which I believe is incredible.
Really?
Only us therapists in the UK are allowed to do so. When you go to some of the clinics in the UK or outside of the UK, it's only doctors or I think nurses that can do microneedling. And it's too medical for us, or to me, it's too medical. Lights on, wipes quickly, and then zzz. So we are in a very, very good position in the UK.
Where actually, because it's, well, I guess in this instance, it's less regulated to a certain extent.
It is regulated, of course.
Not at the same level. So obviously, it's hard if you couldn't do it as a practitioner. But then there are also negatives to that, right? So that we're now putting in regulations where you have to have certain qualifications to be able to do Botox, which was very much needed because, Karen from Nat West could be giving you a mill in your top lip in her back kitchen. And it's not so much the ability to administer, but it's to deal with the consequences if something happens. And so you need that fundamental training to be able to, it's not so much always administer the treatment, it's actually deal with the reaction, isn't it, a lot of the time?
And it's about, what's the word that I'm looking, ethical.
Yeah, the ethics behind it, duty of care.
I am a therapist of 23 years and I just don't see myself injecting Botox. Mesotherapy, yes. Maybe.
What's the difference?
The length, obviously. Mesotherapy is a much more smaller needle. And it's just a combination of vitamins and hyaluronic acid, just injecting. It's pretty much like microneedling, to be honest. So it's to me, I feel safe. But when you inject Botox, it's a whole different story.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy with what is coming in the UK.
Yeah, of course. One of the quotes that I saw when I was kind of going through just how you like to communicate MG skincare was that you've been quoted to state, sometimes to create something extraordinary, you have to take matters into your own hands. And that's exactly what you did when you realized the market was missing something crucial, skincare products that truly work. That's a very bold statement to make. Why do you have that view?
Well, there is good products out there. There is beautiful brands out there. But I wanted to develop a product line that it was small. We got 17 products. It's still quite huge for some other people. And that they just deliver results enough for you to be happy as a therapist, for you to recommend as well. And I wanted to have a product line that it was affordable as well. It doesn't need to be expensive. It doesn't need to be niche. It could be sold, and I'm not going to say names, in a big department stores where you could really have an incredible price point and have an incredible 30 mLs vitamin C serum that you could come back every month and buy it.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the challenges. As you know, we do so much consumer research, and I am constantly in the market looking at how are people feeling about the space, where are they overwhelmed, where can brands do better, where can even at a government level, where can we do better and educate. And there's this, at the moment, search for perfection, search for premium, search for prestige. But the reality is, with cost of living and everything else, they want it at an accessible price point, and the two just don't live together. And actually, a lot of the time when it comes to your skin, it's firstly, your skin changes anyway so often, depending on even just your emotional state. Seasonally it changes. As I said to you, I've just come out at the end of summer, my skin's congested because I've just been going crazy with the sun cream because it's important to me. So how my skin is in the summer versus the winter, they're already different. Then you bring into account stress, which everyone is at the moment. You bring in diet, you bring in lifestyle, all these, and stage of life is also a big thing. And so all people really want is something that's accessible but works. And I think one of the biggest downfalls of that is you might buy a product that works, but if you don't know how to use it and what to layer it with, that's actually one of the biggest downfalls for consumers, because they just get really confused.
Yeah, definitely. And we need to have more training as well as retailers as well. So people that are on the shop floor, they need to have that extra therapy training, not more. I mean, sales training, of course, but it's more therapy training as well. It's just to find out a bit more about the consumers when they come to you.
Is that face mapping?
Or just ask questions. Of course, face mapping. But for some retailers, it's too much. It's too long. It's too long. But you could still ask questions. For example, my skin is dry. And is it constantly dry? Or is it after 3 hours you wash your face? Is it dry? See, questions asked that. It's just very, very important. And it's funny because when we do classes here, we on the weekends, and I work with a team of makeup artists, and I do the presentation of the brand. The makeup artists do tell them about the way they clean the skin and the way they clean their brushes, funny enough, which I didn't know anything about it. But makeup artists they're not professional therapists, but they still have, and they should have, that background on skin health. So I think retailers should train their team better, much better.
Yeah, it's funny. There was something on this morning, actually. Yesterday, I was watching. They were going. Obviously, it's Black History Month as well, and they were going through, different types of kind of British-owned products, and they started talking about how often you clean your brushes, and ideally once a week. But there are people going, you have to clean your brush, and it's mad when you kind of think, again, just looking at the mobile phone situation with bacteria. I think even educating at that level, I think, is really important. I have one final question for you. We're working in a live clinic today. I'm actually loving all the people back and forth, but it's very quiet, which is nice. One final question for you. You've been on a really big journey as a practitioner, a business owner, a formulator, all these different things. If you could give one piece of advice to people that are in your own shoes, marketeers, whoever it may be that's listening, what would it be?
Just hopefully you will be so busy that you are going to keep one work for you, one job or two, maybe. That's my point. I mean, I want to be so busy in treatments and selling the products and training that I don't need to worry with looking for shops to stock the products, etc. So my passion resonates on training therapists. I love that. And obviously the products. So those two things I love. And I would say 10 to 20%, I will still want to do treatments on clients.
Mm. So it's kind of finding, I guess, your area of strength and really leaning into it rather than trying to just do everything.
Correct. Obviously, you have to have time off as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just came back from holidays, and I just feel that right now I'm in a situation that, yes, the products are ready, almost ready. I need to bring someone, co-founder, sales director, sales manager, because that's where we struggle.
Yeah.
I still want to be doing my formulations, my blends,
Yeah.
and my treatments. So keep what you're good at, and only you can do for yourself.
Yeah. So it's actually bringing people in that can do stuff you can't, right? And that's amazing. That's really helpful. Well, look, Manuel, it has been, as always, an absolute joy. And I will 100% be seeing you in the clinic soon. Thank you
Please.
so much for everyone that has listened today. We really hope you've enjoyed. If you have any questions, please do get in touch at podcast@thepoolagency.com, and we'll see you next time. Take care.